Welcome to episode 12 of Give a Fuck, presented by Spark Consciousness. I am your host, Sarah Woodard. Among other things, I am a certified shamanic practitioner, Reiki master teacher, activist, educator, speaker, and award-winning children's author. I'm also a fierce defender of the underdog, which for me means wildlife, companion and work/farmed animals, Mother Nature, and Gaia herself. I care deeply about my fellow human animals and believe that when we learn to live in harmony with nature, we also learn to live in harmony with ourselves and each other. I am fearless about doing my own inner work and growth, and am passionate about helping create a world where all beings are respected and honored. I have a deep connection to Gaia and feel particularly connected when in the presence of the beautiful Colorado Front Range. When I am not busy working to present information about living in harmony with Mother Nature, I share my time with 3 wonderful cats, enjoy bird watching, and experiencing all the outdoors has to offer. My life journey to this point has been filled with twists, turns, and changes, as has everyone's. For me, the constants from birth to now are a strong connection to Gaia, a deep-seated need to serve and help create a more compassionate and healthy world, and a love of both learning and sharing my knowledge. Those lifelong constants are what brought me to this point. All of the knowledge I've acquired in the process of learning to live my life in harmony, as well as new information I come across, are the inspiration for and knowledge bombs presented in this podcast. Through connection to nature, I help young millennial women and others, and that's women with an X, feeling lost, expand their knowledge, feel connected to the world around them, and live with greater compassion. The purpose of this show is to present new information and or old information in a new way to help you see connections and live in harmony. Sometimes I also share other resources as I love to help you continue learning. As a quick reminder, the spelling of give a fuck is F*K. And a huge thank you to my existing patrons on Patreon. A quick life update. I am still in search of that unicorn house, so please send any good vibes my way. The Katie's and I are getting a little bit weary of living in the apartment that we're in, and I did not renew my lease, so we'd like to find that house sooner than later. Still continuing the 52 hike challenge. It's definitely slower than I thought I was going to do. 1 hike a week has proven to be a little much for me, not physically, but just from the busy standpoint. Just hectic life, and when I do have downtime, I don't always want to go out and hike. Sometimes I just want to sit on the couch and watch TV. But that's okay. I'm still getting out there as often as I can. And it's nice to actually track them, as what you do as part of the 52 hike challenge, to at least see how many I've done. That's kind of cool for my type A personality. So normally at this point in the show, we would answer questions submitted on Patreon. As there are no questions that have been submitted for this week, I want to take just a quick second or two to explain to you how Patreon works. And if you're not familiar with the concept, Patreon is basically the crowdfunding modern version of what they used to do back in Michelangelo's day, when some rich dude would pay the artist to exist basically and live their art. And they were called a patron of the arts, and they supported the artist. So Patreon, like I said, is the crowdsourcing version of that. So instead of one person paying lots of money, a whole bunch of you can pay little amounts of money to support this show. And when you do that and stick around, you get some fun benefits as well. Everything from submitting a question, which I will answer during this portion of the show, to discount codes for other offerings, and even merch. You can see them all on my Patreon page, which is linked in the show notes. 10% of every dollar that you pledge on Patreon or spend on any of my product offerings goes to support charitable causes that help make the world a more compassionate place. In the case of the podcast, the other 90% pays for hosting, software and equipment if needed, and also helping keep the cat babies entertained while I ignore them to create each episode. You may sometimes hear in the background some sort of banging noises. That's usually the cats playing with some toy or another, but at least they're leaving me alone. Further ado, I want to move on to the seitan of the show. And for those who may have not heard the episode where I answered that question, seitan is a type of vegan protein. And so being vegan and wanting to embrace compassion with my language use as well as my lifestyle, I'm calling it the seitan of the show rather than meat. This week, I want to talk about 7 different steps that you can take to find and live your purpose, specifically through connection with nature. To see if this is a good thing for you to hear, let me know if any of this sounds familiar to you. Have you been feeling lost lately? Maybe you've got a good paying job, but it's boring and not fulfilling. You might even call it soul crushing. I've had those jobs. You feel like you're meant to do something more, but you have no idea what that is or how to figure it out. If you're sitting there going, yup, 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 or nodding your head to any of those, you're in the right place. This podcast is for you because you are ready to start finding your life purpose. And here's how you can get started. Step 1, you're going to want to reflect on your values and beliefs. They will help you identify what you want to achieve. And if you're not quite sure how to go about that yet, that's okay. I've got this really cool free journaling challenge to help you out, and there will be a link for that in the show notes. And you may also want to consider creating a spiritual practice. And there was a previous episode on how to do that, so feel free to reference that. Step 2, you're going to want to think about your strengths and your talents. They will help you to find a path that is fulfilling and rewarding. They may be related to your degree or your day job, but they may not be, and both are okay. Find a spot in nature that you love and just sit there quietly with a pen and a paper or your phone if you promise not to look at anything other than your notes feature on your phone, and just write them all down. Don't worry about editing it. Don't worry about if you can actually do anything with those skills and strengths. Just write them down and let it kind of simmer. Number 3, consider your passions. Your passions are usually an indicator of how you're meant to make a difference in the world. Maybe you're not sure what those are. That's okay. No worries. I got you. That same journaling challenge I was just talking about will help you with that too. It helps you to pay attention to what speaks to your soul. And your soul already knows all the answers that you're looking for. So if you can hone in on what those passions really are on a very granular level, that will be very helpful for you. And what do I mean by a granular level? In my intro, I say I'm passionate about all these things. Those are high level, right? I'm passionate about making a place where all beings are respected and honored. Well, that's great, and it sounds lovely. But what's the granular level of that? The granular level of that is I am passionate about injustice. That gets my soul and my blood boiling. And that means I want to make a difference there. I want to do something about injustice. At a granular level, I am passionate about animal rights and human rights. And I could go into even more granularity with those and what's the specific areas of animal rights and human rights. Go as deep as you can with it. And then you can come back to the surface. It's an in and out process of trying to figure out exactly how it all ties together. And part of doing that is number 4, experiment and try new things. As many things as possible, because the more you explore and try different things out and meet new people, the more you learn about different cultures and different perspectives. And that can really open you up to ideas you hadn't thought of yet. You could volunteer, travel, strike up conversations with people on your next little nature excursion, or check out a moon gathering or any other group that might be of interest to you. Moon gatherings, I'm saying specifically because they do also generally have this intention of helping you open yourself up in some way. If you're in the Denver area, come and check out mine. If you're not, try to find one in your area, or maybe you'll want to start one. Something to think about. Number 5, be open to change. This finding your life purpose, it's a journey. You're not going to figure this out overnight. It will take time and experimentation. You need to be patient and be open to change as you take this journey towards finding your life purpose. Lean on Gaia for support. And again, a grounding spiritual practice will help you do that. Once again, there was a previous episode about that, so feel free to check that out. Number 6 is use your name. I know that probably sounds a little like, huh? What is she talking about? Use my name to figure out my purpose? I'm for real here, okay? Your life purpose was written in the stars before you were ever born. It's coded into your name. And with the right tools, you can discover your purpose through the magic of your name. And now if you've started to perk up and you're like, tell me more, you are once again in the right place, because I have put together the Secret Decoder Ring as a set of downloadable flashcards. They're only $20 and they will help you identify your purpose. I will put the link for that in the show notes as well. And then number 7 is check your email. And no, I don't mean like your work email. You're not going to find answers in there. I mean like email subscriptions that are intended on helping you find your purpose. If you don't have any of those, or you're looking for another one, I've got your back. You can sign up for my bi-weekly newsletter and you'll get lots of helpful tips and no spam ever, nor will I ever sell your email address. That's rude. So again, the link for that will be in the show notes. Traverse into the future a little. You maybe started to figure out your purpose, but now it's time to start living it, putting it into practice. And so how do you do that? Well, once again, I've got 7 steps to help you out. The first one is to be clear about your purpose, which we kind of just did in those previous 7. But if you're not completely clear, you may want to rework those until you have a better handle on things. Number 2 is to take action. Once you know what your purpose is, you're going to have to take action to live it. Nothing comes without action. It may mean making changes to your career, your relationships, your lifestyle. It's going to mean taking some risks and stepping outside your comfort zone. The good news is you don't have to change everything all at once. Each small change is a step towards living your life with a strong sense of purpose and feeling fulfilled each and every day. Number 3, be patient and open. Creating a life where you live your purpose, it's not going to happen overnight, like we said. It's not. It takes time, effort, and perseverance. There's probably going to be setbacks and challenges because that's where there's lessons. Once again, a grounding spiritual practice that helps you reconnect with nature and your own soul will be helpful. And again, you can refer back to that episode that I've mentioned a couple times now. Each person's journey is different. It happens in the right time for them. Your journey is not going to look the same as your best friend's journey. Trust the process, wherever it leads. For me, it meant moving 2,000 miles. For you, it might mean moving. It might not. Just be open to wherever this journey to live your purpose takes you, and you will arrive there when you're meant to and how you're meant to. Number 4, be grateful. As you begin to live your purpose, take time to appreciate this journey. There's going to be moments of joy and satisfaction along the way. It's really important to savor those moments and be grateful for the opportunity to live a purpose-driven life. Connect with others is number 5. Living your purpose is more than just doing what you love. It's also about connecting with others and making a difference in the world. Find ways to share your purpose with others and inspire them to live their own purpose as well. And if you haven't figured this out yet, folks, that's what Spark Consciousness is for me. For you, you could start a business, you could volunteer, write a blog, start a podcast, any number of things. Figure out what works for you. How do you like sharing what you love? And do that. Number 6, pause and take a deep breath. Living your purpose is exciting. It can be tempting to rush forward towards each goal, each challenge, each marker point on this journey. I get it. I am a rush forward person. But if you do that, you lose the opportunity to celebrate your successes and progress. And it's really important to take that time to honor how far you've come. Number 7, sometimes on this path to live your purpose, you might feel like you're heading in the wrong direction. It is okay. Paths lead to other paths. If you feel like it was the right decision in the moment, it was. Keep moving forward. Trust that a life where you live your purpose could be around the next corner or over the next hill. Life surprises us like that. And that's part of the joy. That's part of the beauty of it. Remember, living your purpose, it's a journey. It's a process of growth and discovery. When you live your purpose and you start on this journey, you will find a strong sense of fulfillment and satisfaction. That whole thing that you've been looking for. You've got this, and I am here to help you. Hopefully the resources I have directed you today are helpful for you. I would love to hear how that goes for you. You can DM me on Instagram, which segues me into housekeeping. If you want to connect with me, you can find me on social media and my website. Those are all in the show notes. I would love for you to take a second to peruse all the offerings and see how many of them, or if any of them, speak to you. I have things at all different price ranges, wherever you're, including free, like the journaling challenge. So wherever you're at right now with your budget is okay with me. Once again, if you'd like to support the show, feel free to check out the Patreon page and sign up for whatever level works for you. I also have opportunities for folks or businesses or nonprofits to sponsor an episode. So check that out on my website as well. If your podcast app allows you to do so, I would love for you to rate the show. That is so helpful in spreading my reach. So what's coming next? Now that I'm organized, I can tell you that in 2 weeks, we are going to talk about acceptance and letting go, and how that process of acceptance and letting go is part of finding your purpose. I hope to see you then. In the meantime, continue to expand your knowledge, feel the connections, and live with compassion.